Hi everyone, my name is Kim Pham and I am a writer and filmmaker from Western Sydney. In this little video, I'm going to be taking you through some of my favorite tips and tricks on how to write a compelling creative piece of work, specifically to enter into the Living Stories Western Sydney Writing Prize. I think this is an amazing opportunity to push yourself to write something that only you can write, and it's absolutely free to enter, and it puts you in the running to possibly have your work published in a book form and online. And on top of that, there's a total pool prize of over $10,000 to be won. So hopefully this workshop will be helpful to you. But of course, most of the things I go through today will help you with creative writing in general, not just for the competition. So let's just go through the different creative writing forms that are accepted by this competition. So you can either choose to write and submit a short story, poetry, or a personal essay. Now let's just quickly go through what each form of writing entails, and perhaps you can choose one to work on during this video. So you could choose to write a short story, which is usually made up fiction, or you can choose to do a personal story. Some people like to call it a memoir, which is non-fictional, which is usually written in first person with the account based on real life accounts or events from the author's real life experiences. And lastly, of course, you can choose to write a poem. There are so many different kinds of poems, so some rhyme, some don't. You can decide for yourself. It doesn't matter which one you choose to do, only that if you do choose to submit a poem to the competition, it should be no longer than 25 lines. And then everything else, well, all of those things, including the short story and the personal essay, should be a maximum of 500 words. Now that we've talked through the different kinds of story forms you can pick from, let's now take a look at the stimulus, which is really important because the judges will read your work more favorably if you try your best to engage with this year's theme, which is the other city. Now let's read the entire stimulus. The other city. It could be here, it could be there, or be a city beyond. It depends on where you start, how you get there, or here, on where you're going to, or from. It depends on what you choose to see. So there are a lot of different ways that you can approach the stimulus because it's quite vague, which is a good thing. It means that you have a lot of room to take so many different directions, but I'll probably tell you how I would interpret the stimulus just so it's a little easier for you to kind of like narrow it down and kind of figure out what to write about. Now, right off the bat, it feels like personally, I should write about a story that either focuses on a place or a journey. So we have two branches of ideas there, place, journey. So you could either write about both, in a way, but just keep in mind that the word length is 500 words. So personally, for me, I feel like I should focus on one idea and flesh that out. But it's totally up to you. So now you might be asking, okay, what do you mean write a story about place or journey? So I'll give you a really simple example. I could write a story about my train journey to the Blue Mountains. Or I could write a story about my experience literally already being in the Blue Mountains, visiting the Blue Mountains. Simple enough. Well, that really is just kind of looking at the stimulus at face value. But if you're trying to think or make up a story based on that, what is like the next step? How do we make that story, that kind of simple kind of premise, something more compelling? So this little trick is more hidden, but it's a must. Whether you choose to write a story that explores the physical place or focuses on a particular journey to that place, you still need to have an emotional journey that your protagonist, your character, goes on. So what does this mean? So let's go back to my really cheesy Blue Mountain story. So to find and create an emotional connection to your story, you need to ask yourselves a few questions. Who is my protagonist? And why are they going to the Blue Mountains? What does it mean to her? Is she trying to find something or someone? What happens if she doesn't get what she wants? So by fleshing out and answering these questions, it helps add a more authentic and deeper characterization to your protagonist. They seem more real when we know more about them and what they want. So here's a totally made up example of an emotional journey that my protagonist can go on. Maybe she's going to the Blue Mountains to see the three sisters. Maybe she's reflecting on her childhood and how the last time she saw the three sisters, it was with her older sister when they were kids, and that they never got along, and that they were always fighting, and that they never felt like they could depend on each other. And the sister always felt like the three sisters represented her own relationship with her own sister, that there always seemed to be a rock wedged between them, but they were forever stuck together, literally set in stone. So the story can be a complex narrative about family relationships. So, does it have a happy ending? Does it have a sad ending? A happy ending would be you end the story with her actually going to visit. So maybe she's on the train ride and she's kind of reflecting on this, and then someone tugs at her shirt and it's her daughter's sister, and she's actually on this physical journey, this with her sister, her daughter's sister, and her own daughter, and they're all kind of like together. Or you can have a sad ending, that they never got to reconcile, basically. Not sure, totally up to you, but this is just like a cheesy example of having an emotional journey or an emotional core attached to kind of like a premise, like something that's a bit more simple, which is really important. So now what I'd like you to do for me is to brainstorm a story that focuses, a simple premise, that focuses on place. It could be a different city, it could be a different school, it could be a different home, it could be a different country, whichever one you like. Just pick a place that your protagonist can find themselves in. And then I'd like you to for this place, I'd like you to think about the type of journey that this protagonist can be on to arrive at that destination. So the protagonist could make a plane journey, a bus journey, a train journey, a car journey, a walking, hiking journey. The place could be a mountain and the journey could be hiking. So I'd like you to brainstorm one or more than one, like up to you, but places or a place and the types of journeys that can take you to that place. 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking that brainstorming session. I hope you got some really great ideas. Now, let's come back, and what I'd like you to do now is take a look at your ideas and pluck out from your brilliant minds an emotional journey that can be attached to, that place or that journey to that place. So, similar to what I did with the the Blue Mountains journey, simple premise. Then I attached like an emotional journey to my protagonist, why she's making this journey and all that. What I'd like you to do is do the same thing. Now attach an emotional journey to that physical journey. Another 10 minutes of brainstorming, please, guys. Thank you. Great job. Okay, so now that you've got a cool way of approaching the stimulus, you know, so we have journey, we have place. Now I want to propose another way of tackling the stimulus. I'd like you to start a new page on your computer or pull out another blank sheet of paper and write down again, big capital letters, place, and next to it, journey. Same thing, nothing new. So we have our two favorite words, but who says the place now has to be real, and who says the journey has to be realistic? Maybe you want to write your character getting sucked into a black hole, and what they find there may be, you know, or sorry, or maybe they might be visiting a newly opened amusement park in the Milky Way. Or maybe your story is about your character's journey to a mystical, magical world where they found by walking through an old oil painting they found at an antique store. You know, the possibilities are endless. So what's really important though is that don't forget, even in this kind of like different way of approaching the premise, don't forget the emotional journey. That still applies. So why is your character near a black hole to begin with? Maybe they lost their dad in a black hole because their dad was an astronaut a long, long time ago, and they set out to find him, even though everyone tells them that it's probably, you know, he's probably dead, he's long gone, you should just give up, you can't find him, you know what I mean? Like, just grieve already. So really, that story is about love and grief. Why does your protagonist choose to walk through an oil painting that they found in an antique store into another world? Like, why would they do that? Maybe they own their own antique store actually, and it's about to close down. Maybe their grandparents, you know, owned it before them, and they don't want to lose that memory of their grandparents. So but they don't have enough money to keep the store running. And then the oil painting is actually a painting of buried treasure, and they feel like they can reach in there and get it. So they're like, okay, what do I have to lose? I need to get some money somehow to save this failing antique store. So they go into the painting. You know, so there you have, at first you had this kind of simple, very interesting premise, and then you had an emotional journey attached to it. So the story of walking into this mystical world isn't just because of curiosity anymore, even though that's totally fine as well. But it becomes a story about perseverance, about love, and about passion for owning an antique store, passion for doing what you love, and also maybe greed. I don't know. So I'd like you guys to take now another 10 to 15 minutes to do literally the same thing you did with the other exercise, but this time it's about imagined worlds, imagined journeys, and imagined places. 10 minutes. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my ramblings about creative writing, and I hope that my exercises helped, you practice or write something for this competition. And please, please, please do submit. It's a great opportunity. All right, bye.